In this section of Mark chapter 2 and 3, we're seeing this conflict arise between Jesus and the religious leaders. Of course, this conflict is never going to get resolved. It's going to be these people who conspire with the enemy, with the Romans, to put Jesus to death by crucifixion. But we start to see some of that come out at this point in Mark's gospel. And I love how Gary included this little thing about children asking questions. Why? Why not? Why do I have to go to bed now? All these different things. My kids are personally in that stage. They're asking why a lot. And one of the things that's hard as a parent is discerning between a why that is wanting to know more information just because they're ignorant of reality. There's so much that they just don't know. Or why is in a rebellious heart. You don't want to do what I'm asking you to do, so you're asking why, and it's from a heart of rebellion. It's the second category of why that we see in these Pharisees. Their hearts are rebellious. They're hardened by just their harsh view of the way God operates and the way His Word operates and how other people they just are hardened in their hearts, and they're using the guise of spirituality and religion and to justify their abuse of God's people, for lack of a better term. I mean, that is what they are doing, and we're seeing Christ really break the mold of the Pharisees and really point out their just foolishness. And He does this by calling and transforming Levi, the tax collector, Matthew, one of the authors of the four Gospels. Tax collectors, as you can see here, they were not good people. They were like the worst of the worst. They were sellouts. They cheated people often. They were just bad people. And we see Christ go to Levi and call him and say, "You follow me." And he begins to eat dinner with him, with tax collectors and other sinners who were there. And the Pharisees are just bewildered by the fact that this would even happen. Like, how could this even happen? And they just miss the fact that Christ came as a physician to call, heal, and transform broken sinners. Self-righteousness is what leaves someone in their fatal condition. Those who don't think they need the transformation of Christ will never seek out the transformation that He so freely offers. So we have a duty to be a light in the darkness around us, to take chances on the lost, to proclaim the gospel to them, to give ourselves to the reaching of them with the good news of the gospel. Instead of holding on to whatever high opinion that we have ourselves, but that we embrace the cross of Christ. We don't hoard up possessions, but we give generously so that the kingdom might be advanced. And we pursue that same path of transformation that Christ did, where he preached the gospel that brought about transformation. And just remember, a works-based faith is dead faith. God is not impressed with what you do. You are not saved by works. Your salvation is not maintained by works. You are secure in your union with Christ. The Spirit who indwells you keeps you in the faith. Christ holds you in His hand, and nothing can snatch you away from His hand, and the Father secures you as well. The security of the believer is a triune work of God, and that will not be overcome. In that, we do work. We don't want to. We want to be balanced in that. Our faith does produce action, but a works-based faith is a dead faith, and we see that very clearly in this passage with the Pharisees. So you could talk a little bit about that, and in talking about how we, even as Christians, slip into a works-based mindset, and how we interact and engage Christianity in general. And then lastly, just see this. Jesus came to do good to others. This guy had a withered hand, and He healed it. He didn't let his tradition, the traditions of the elders on what was acceptable on the Sabbath or not, deter Him from doing good from others. I can promise you, if you're doing good, and I mean truly something good that is for the goodness of others, according to God's righteous character, you're doing the will of the Lord. Christ came to do good to others. Don't hide behind tradition. Don't not do good to others who are in need, but be someone who brings healing to those who are in harm, who does not leave communities in brokenness, but seeks to do good to their neighbor and those around him. For Jesus, the giver and fulfillment of the law, chose to do good while he observed the Sabbath, instead of using tradition as a cover for apathy. May we do likewise. Be careful. We have a tendency sometimes to let tradition be a cover for apathy. We traditionally don't do that. Are we not doing it because we don't care, or because it's not what we're supposed to be doing? It's a tough question to ask ourselves.